Hey there, John McLeod Community Gardeners. I just wanted to give you some updates for this next little while here. I'm really trying to take this next week off. I quite desperately need it, to be honest. And so that does make me feel a little guilty because there's a lot to do here. But, you know, we are still very early. The water is not turned on, but I will be getting some advice, making a decision on that, trying to take a look at any long-term potentials for a freeze, and I think we're past it, so water on is going to be a great next step. I haven't checked to see if there's water in there. Now what you can see here, I've emptied the area to be able to set in 3 new beds. It needs some leveling, and so that is going to be a part of the next effort. Leveling this out and then placing down some cardboard for the new beds to sit on. And then that way any weeds from below are not going to be coming up, and getting those in place. So we've got 3 here. What we did was we moved the raised planter box over here. It just, it got so dry, and so this way I can incorporate the irrigation into it and just plant some things and utilize the fence. So we put the soil actually into these other raised communal planters, and then this way we could actually start planting fairly soon with this. I wanted to get some peas going on the fence. And so this is just a bit of a tripping hazard here, so please beware, and that's why the planter's there. Once we get the water going, we just want to make sure that that gets planted. I'm pretty sure it's bee balm growing in there. So we have this area here that will have another garden bed, and so it's just a matter of moving the wood chips aside. There's plastic under a lot of this, and so I'm having to move the wood chips to expose the plastic in order to, I really would like a direct connection with the soil and the earth so that we can get some of the worms coming up and down. And so moving this out into the space, cutting away the plastic, I'll be putting down a layer of cardboard again, just so that we can make sure that no weeds grow up underneath it, and then inevitably and eventually it will break down and we'll start getting some, the energy that comes from the soil up into it with worms and things like that. So I'm looking at maybe removing this tree. We've been doing some pruning, but there is a big dead branch, and so we're going to be looking at seeing how we can reduce that. So we'll have 1 more here, and we've got 1 more there. So there's the 5 new beds. As you can see here, the rhubarb is trying to come back. A lot of our perennials are starting to grow in. I did see that, yes, in fact, there is still ant activity. And so I'm going to take a look at the forecast and just see. We might just continue to put down some diatomaceous earth if it continues to stay dry and no rain. Rain and diatomaceous earth just basically neutralizes it. So there is some in the shed, and we can continue to sprinkle that onto this bed and just expose the ants as well. And we're watching some of the life coming back into this garden bed, so I've been starting to move some of it and just to see what is coming back. And then we'll be adding some compost, maybe a little bit of fertilizer to get these perennial plants going. So that is the plan for now. We have some new gardeners, and so they will start working on their beds. You are welcome to build your trellises, of course. So water, I got to get those new beds in place. I'm going to be definitely putting out an ask for help. I'll be putting that out to the general community and for our own. Looking at April 16th, Thursday, April 16th, we'd love to try again for having our John McLeod Community Spring Potluck. So hopefully people will be available for that day. And after that, I've got to work on next steps. Might be maybe some water capture here. I've got an idea of some barrels that we could maybe at least utilize. Getting this area cleaned up, so just getting out things from in behind the shed so that we can put the metal back, get all the wood put back in place. So this will get cleaned up after, and then figuring out what to do with this edge. And so I've just got to talk to the Ag Association to see if they, if we could maybe put in some cane fruit, which will require a bit of digging down to try and manage all of this grass. But that could be a next step. And I'm also looking at maybe changing the structure here of this trellis and cutting it so that it doesn't stick out like that. So decisions on that are being made. You'll see that I have brought a whole bunch of woody material, and that is for the inside of the new garden beds. So this has been just a matter of cleaning up some of my in-laws' property, dead willow, and as many other things as I can. And so this is going to be creating some of the base for the garden beds. There are some larger logs and sticks, but mainly it's a lot of little stuff. And then I am planning on using basically a lot of these leaves. I imagine a lot of the stuff that's within this compost will actually be making its way into the base of these new garden beds. And every time you're here, if you want to give these a spin, that's always helpful, just to help them continue to break down. So that is the general update. I'm going to send this out so you can watch it as a video. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free. But again, I'm trying to not I'm trying to not go on my computer right now. Take a little break before we really push for the rest of April and May for, you know, both this garden project and the Shoe Shop Teaching Garden, the youth garden contests. We've got some classes coming up, so I really encourage you, if you are looking to learn more about gardening. We've got a May 3rd, Sunday, May 3rd class that will be there at the Teaching Garden. It's all on Gardening 101. And there's also going to be a raised bed versus in-ground garden class. So just check out the Sunday sessions on our website. And I hope this answers questions for now as we continue to work towards getting everyone growing their own food. Thanks, bye.